Boy, I hope you all are ready to get drafted because World War III is about to kick off with a heck of a bang. And that's because of this story right here. From CBS News, Israeli missile hits Iran. U.S. officials confirm. Yes, that is right, ladies and gentlemen. Israel has officially decided to respond to Iran's missile strikes that they committed against Israel. I believe it was last week or the week before or earlier this week. And guys, this is not good. I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but this is only escalating. There is no off-ramp. Nobody seems to want to negotiate here. Nobody seems to want to simmer the tensions down. It's just escalation after escalation after escalation. And despite what Biden has said, where he said that they would not support a direct conflict with Iran, they would not support Israel in an offensive conflict in Iran, despite him saying that, I got to be honest, I don't really believe him. But let's get into this story here. So, from CBS News, 2 U.S. officials confirmed to CBS News that an Israeli missile has hit Iran. The strike follows last weekend's retaliatory drone and missile attack against Israel, which Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had vowed to respond to. Officials were tight-lipped about the location or extent of the Israeli strike. When reached by CBS News, the Israeli Defense Forces had no comment on the attack. The Iranian state-run IRNA news agency said air defense batteries fired across several provinces. It did not elaborate on what caused the batteries to fire, though people across the area reported hearing the sounds. In particular, IRNA said air defenses fired at a major air base in Isfahan, which long has been home to Iran's fleet of American-made F-14 Tomcats, purchased before the 1979 Islamic Revolution. The semi-official Fars and Tasnim news agencies also reported the sound of blasts without giving a cause. State television acknowledged loud noise in the area. Isfahan also is home to sites associated with Iran's nuclear program, including its underground Natanz enrichment site, which has been repeatedly targeted by suspected Israeli attacks. However, state television described all sites in the area as fully safe. Yes, in my opinion, if I had to say it, I truly believe that this was the intended target of this attack. I got to be honest with you. I don't think that Israel's I don't think that the Israeli military is really worried about some F-14 Tomcats. Okay, so, that's not to hate on the F-14 Tomcat. Okay, it's just a really old fighter jet. It's old. It's very outdated. Like this article says, this was given to Iran before the Iranian Revolution, where the Muslims overran the government and took control, and is now controlled by the Ayatollah Khomeini. Guys, I truly don't believe this article when it says that was the intended target. If the reason why is because Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying for years that they want to attack the nuclear research sites that is within Iran. Now, these nuclear research sites, I hope that you guys can see this. I'm going to try to get a little bit bigger here. Okay, so this is Iran right here. This is Isfahan, and this is Natanz. Both of these sites have major nuclear research facilities that obviously Israel is very afraid of. Israel does not want Iran to have nuclear weapons because Iran has stated in the past, the Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran that leads Iran has stated in the past that they would use nuclear weapons to wipe Israel off the map. Yes, this is something that they literally said they would do. So obviously, Israel is very wary about the idea of Iran having nuclear weapons. So they have stated that for years that they would like to go after these research facilities. Now, ultimately, the idea is that the thinking right now is that we really have no idea whether or not Iran has nuclear weapons. Ultimately, I think it's probably likely that they do, but we don't know whether or not Iran has the capabilities to deliver those nuclear weapons. Obviously, they are able to fire missiles at Israel. They're able to fire missiles that can reach Israel. But ultimately, we have no idea whether or not they can fit a nuclear warhead onto those missiles, whether they have the capabilities to do that or not. Ultimately, we really have no idea. We have no idea what their capabilities truly are. We're kind of just in limbo on that information. But obviously, Israel is very wary of these nuclear research sites because they have been saying that they want to attack them for years. Let's continue. Dubai-based carriers Emirates and Fly Dubai began diverting around western Iran about 4:30 a.m. Local time, they offered no explanation, though local warnings to aviators suggested the airspace may have been closed. Iran later announced it Excuse me, guys, I'm fighting a sneeze. Iran later announced it grounded commercial flights in Tehran and across areas of its western and central regions. Loudspeakers informed customers of the incident at Imam Khomeini International Airport in Tehran. Online videos purported to show Iran last weekend launched an unprecedented retaliatory strike against Israel in response to a deadly attack on an Iranian consulate in Syria, which killed 7 officers, including 2 generals from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard. Now, before we continue with that, I would like to add that one of those officers specifically was actually leading Hamas in their attacks against Israel. So the idea that this was just a unprovoked attack against Iran, I think that's pretty foolish to say. I mean, one of the officers in the Iranian military was actually leading Hamas and leading their military, leading the Hamas terrorist organization against Israel, killing Israeli civilians. Okay, so the idea that this is unprovoked, I gotta be honest, I find that laughable. Okay, whatever side you're on, I don't really care. It sounds laughable to me. Let's continue. Iran's attack on Israel included 170 drones, over 30 cruise missiles, and 120 ballistic missiles, according to the IDF and U.S. officials. None of the drones crossed into Israeli territory before they were shot down by Israel and its allies, including the U.S., the IDF said. 5 of the ballistic missiles struck Israel, with 4 of them hitting Israeli's Nevatim air base, where Israeli F-35s are based, U.S. officials told CBS News. See, that right there is why I don't believe the story about them going after the F-14 Tomcats. Because Israel has F-35s. For those of you who don't know, F-35s are much newer. They are much they're much more powerful fighter jets than F-14 Tomcats, which are heavily outdated. So I'm sorry if I'm just not buying it that they were going after some Tomcats. I got to be honest. Let's continue. The officials believe the base was likely Iran's primary target, as the strike against the consulate in Syria is believed to have been carried out by an F-35. The U.S. and other allies of Israel have urged Netanyahu to exercise restraint in any possible response to Iran. U.S. officials have said the country would not participate in any Israeli retaliatory strike in the aftermath of Iran's attack, which the IDF said caused very little damage. President Biden pressed the Israeli prime minister to think about what that success says all by itself to the rest of the region, according to National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where we go from here. I gotta be honest. This sucks, man. This really sucks. Because like I said before, whatever Biden has said about, oh, we're not going to get involved and we're not going to support a direct conflict in Iran, I'm sorry. I just don't believe him. I don't believe him. And the reality is that we've seen multiple videos recently of Biden's brain just doesn't work. So I find it hard to believe that Biden is the one that's even in charge at this point. That Biden is the one calling the shots. I'm sorry. We see the videos. We see his brain don't work. We see that he can barely get a sentence out. I'm sorry. I just don't believe that he's the guy in charge calling the shots. I got to be honest. I really don't. That's just my thinking. My opinion, that's fine. You can take my opinion or leave it. That's fine. But ultimately, I really don't think at this point that he's the one calling the shots, especially after James O'Keefe talked to an official in the White House who absolutely said that Joe Biden isn't the one in charge, that there are other people who are calling the shots in the White House. So ultimately, the intelligence agencies, the quote-unquote deep state that we like to call them, they could be the ones calling the shots here. Whether or not Biden wants to go to war, because let's be honest, a lot of the people that voted for Biden do not support Israel. So if he chooses to support Israel, a lot of his voter base is going to say, no, I don't think I'm going to vote for you. Which would be very bad for his chances of getting a second term in office. So Biden himself is in a bit of a quagmire here. His voters are saying don't support Israel, but the people in charge of the government are saying support Israel. I think the likelihood in that situation is that Biden probably isn't going to get a second term in office. Now, of course, there's probably going to be shenanigans in the election just like there was in 2020, but that's neither here nor there. This isn't a video about the 2024 election. Guys, ultimately, if I had to guess, I would say that the U.S. will likely get involved in a war against Iran. And they will likely fight on the side of Israel against Iran. Now, I tried to look this up earlier today, okay? As this news was coming in today, I tried to look this up. I couldn't find it. But I have heard reports that Russia has said that they will support Iran if the U.S. decides to get involved in a direct hot conflict against Iran, okay? Now, supporting Iran, I don't know what that means. I don't know if that is we're going to come to your defense and we're going to send in troops and we're going to actively help you defend your nation against the U.S. I don't know. I don't know if that's exactly how that would go, okay? They could be saying that they're going to send in weapons and ammunition and missiles and all that. Who knows? I truly, they could be talking about, hey, we're going to supply Iran's military with oil or with gas so that they can stay mobilized and all that stuff. I don't know. Ultimately, we have Iran, which is one of the most powerful militaries in the Middle East. Okay? They are. They're a very powerful military. This is not Iraq, okay? This is not Afghanistan. This is a organized and powerful military. Now, I'm not saying the U.S. or Israel would lose to Iran. I'm saying it would be very deadly. There would be lots of American soldiers that die. Then you've got the fact that Russia has stated that they will be somewhat involved. If they choose to get involved directly using their own military, sending their own military to Iran to help Iran defend against U.S. Attacks, I'm sorry, guys. We are looking at two nuclear powers in a hot conflict against each other. That is a fact. I believe that might be the first time ever in human history that two nuclear powers would be in direct hot conflict with one another, as in soldiers are firing bullets at other soldiers. Planes firing at other planes. You see what I'm saying? I believe that might be the first time ever where both nuclear powers are in a direct hot conflict. Yeah, we had the Cold War and all that, but that wasn't really hot conflict. Or at least it might have been hot behind the scenes, but it wasn't really out there in front of your face. The reality is this. We are sitting on a powder keg of death and destruction. If we don't step back and say, this has got to stop. Now, ultimately, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if America just needs to step back and say, Israel, you chose to hit Iran. That's on you. We're going to take a step back and we're not really going to get involved. I don't know. That's what Biden has said. But like I said, I don't believe that. Ultimately, the obligation that the U.S. government has stated is that our support for Israel is ironclad. Guys, if I had to guess, I'd say the likelihood is that the U.S. will get involved. Russia will likely get involved. And we will be in a hot conflict directly against both Iran and Russia, which are two of the largest and most powerful and most well-organized militaries in that region of the world. Then you've got the likelihood that if the U.S. is that occupied against those two powers, well, you could end up with a situation where China decides to go after Taiwan. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this. I'm not attempting to scare you with this video. That's not my point. I'm simply trying to bring you the news of what's going on and what could possibly stem from these occurrences, from these events, okay? All I'm going to say is this, though. With what we're seeing right now, you cannot wait for the government to come and save you, okay? Now is the time to get prepared. Okay, if you weren't getting prepared before, you need to do it now. Like I said, two nuclear powers could very well be in hot conflict with one another by, 3-4 months from now, maybe even sooner. Hey, nuclear weapons are nothing to play with. Go buy some potassium iodide tablets so that you can protect yourself from radiation poisoning, from nuclear fallout. Call me crazy. That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to believe what I'm saying. But ultimately, if the nuclear bombs are falling, you're gonna wish you had them, because the likelihood is that the majority of people are not going to die from the actual blast. Majority of people are going to die from the radiation. Okay. Just a thought. Just a thought. You can call me crazy. You can, look at this conspiracy theory. Fine. Do whatever you like. As for me and my house, I'm gonna get prepared. Okay. I'm gonna go buy a gun. I'm gonna go buy some bullets. Okay. I'm gonna go get some emergency food, some emergency water. Okay. These are precautions that I am going to take so that I can help to ensure that my family is more safe and more prepared in an emergency situation. Now, you want to call me some crazy prepper dude for saying that? Fine, whatever. Do whatever you want. But this is real. War is real, and we are right on the doorstep of it. I don't know, man. I really don't know where we go from here. I hope that this does not escalate. But I said that in the last video, and here we are. I don't know. Ultimately, you have to decide what's best for you. I'm going to get prepared to the best that I can. You do you. Don't say I didn't warn you if it all goes to crap. I don't know. I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully we'll get some more information tomorrow. This just happened tonight. Obviously, this video is going to go up in the morning on the morning of the 19th. So it's going to be the morning after this has happened. But as of right now, with the information that I have, I'm just going off of what has come out so far. Okay. So guys, keep looking out for news when it comes to this situation. Keep your head on a swivel. I'm going to leave it there. I'll have another video coming for you guys on Monday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down in the comment section, share the show with your friends. Follow me on all the socials down in the description. Hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we put out new videos. And I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there, guys. Bye-bye.